Welcome back. As Hurricane Milton strengthens in the Gulf of Mexico, the conservative policy agenda, known as Project 2025, is calling for the breakup of the federal agency that issues severe storm warnings. The plan says the National Atmospheric and Oceanic Administration, or NOAA, which houses the National Weather Service, is a component of, quote, the climate change alarm industry, and should be downsized, while much of its climate change research should be disbanded. So think about that right now. In the wake of Hurricane Helene's biblical destruction, looking down the barrel of Milton, they're calling it the climate change alarm industry in Project 2025. Joining us now, former Assistant Secretary of State for Oceans and International Environmental and Scientific Affairs, Monica Medina. I would think this is a moment where perhaps it's important to point out that Donald Trump, although he says he's not connected with Project 2025, but his top people put it together, looks at climate change and potentially following this plan would get rid of the very warning system that we would need to prepare for a moment like this.
That's absolutely true, Mika. Thank you so much for having me on to talk about this, because it couldn't be more important. The Trump plan is as dangerous as these storms themselves, and we need to make sure we understand that once that weather system, all that architecture that underlies all the private forecasts, all the local weather forecasts, all of that is underpinned by the National Weather Service. And if we dismantle that, we lose this one vital link to keeping ourselves safe. Not only our property and our businesses, but lives are at risk.
And I want to take a step back before we move forward more into this and look at what the Biden administration has done, is doing to prepare for severe weather like this. And if you could talk about FEMA's rumor response page, which I think would be useful at a time like this.
Thank you for pointing that out. It's unbelievable that in the midst of a storm, when we should be pulling together as a nation, FEMA has to divert resources from actually responding to the storm to knock down all the disinformation that we see online and being broadcast through social media. It's terrible that anyone is having to knock down these lies, that we have to have pages like that put on federal response. Instead of where do you go to get help, it's what to disallow, what to disavow, what not to believe. It's awful.
So give us a sense, Monica. I mean, right now we have President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris working to support those who are devastated by Hurricane Helene, and they're preparing now for Milton, which looks to be catastrophic in the Tampa and surrounding areas and possibly beyond. What would that look like if we jumped a year from now and there was a President Trump in office?
What it would look like is a much more difficult disaster response. Of course, President Trump had threatened to, in the past, withhold disaster assistance if places weren't seen as having voted for him. So I've said in the past that these are dangerous proposals of his, because they are. Look at the devastation in these places. And if we didn't have the kind of robust disaster response that you see from President Biden and Vice President Harris, and what the vice president promises to continue in her term if she were elected, we would have weeks and weeks of devastation. It's already bad enough when small businesses are shut down by a disastrous storm like this. 40% never rebuild. Vice President Harris is promising huge tax breaks for people who want to start businesses. That could be a lifeline for some of the people who are going to lose their businesses in these storms. It's really important for the federal government to have a robust, very well-funded response. And what we see is that the Republicans, if elected, if Donald Trump is elected, he's going to pull this funding, and he will, in fact, be the one using it to try and stave off what he claims to be this huge crisis at the border. This is our crisis today. This is the one that really matters.
And you can see it laid out in Project 2025. Monica's piece is Extreme Weather is Not a Hoax. We appreciate your coming on the show this morning. Former Deputy Administrator of NOAA, Monica Medina. Thank you very much.
And I
for
hope
coming
everyone
on this
takes
morning.
those warnings seriously and evacuates.
Yes, take care, Monica. Thank you.